For a moment it seemed like the predator might overpower the human chain, sending a surge of fear through the crowd. But the beachgoers refused to give in to terror. They called for more help and stood their ground, unified in their mission to save Arthur's life. It was a battle of wills between man and beast, a struggle that would determine the fate of the young surfer. The minutes felt like an eternity as the rescue effort intensified. The shark's eyes, cold and unfeeling, seemed to assess the humans' determination, gauging whether they were worthy adversaries. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the human chain managed to pull Arthur to the safety of the shore. The wounded surfer was gasping for breath, his body racked with pain, but the battle was over. The shark continued to circle, its dark silhouette visible beneath the surface, as if taunting the humans for daring to challenge its supremacy. Fear hung heavy in the air, but so did determination. The beachgoers formed a protective barrier around Arthur, refusing to back down from the predatory menace that lurked just beyond their reach. At that moment, they embodied the primal instinct to protect themselves, defy the natural order, and fight for survival. The beach, once a place of leisure and joy, now becomes an arena for a life-and-death struggle between humans and predators. As the minutes turned into hours, the shark finally retreated, sensing that the humans were not easy prey. It disappeared back into the depths, leaving behind a traumatized community, forever changed by the terrifying encounter. Using a boogie board strap as a makeshift tourniquet, they desperately tried to stop the bleeding from Arthur's severely injured legs. But the shark bites had caused critical injuries in a dire situation. Emergency services were summoned, but the journey to the nearest trauma center was long. The community held its breath, praying for a miracle, but Arthur's injuries proved fatal tragically. The once vibrant and adventurous young man succumbed to the devastating attack. The hospital became a place of heartbreak as family and friends struggled to accept the loss. Isaac, who witnessed the attack, could hardly comprehend the magnitude of the tragedy. The incident profoundly impacted the community, a stark reminder of the delicate balance between humans and the untamed sea. As the sun set on that fateful day, a somber atmosphere enveloped Newcomb Hollow. The loss of Arthur served as a poignant reminder of the unpredictability of nature and the fragility of life. His memory would forever linger in the hearts of those who knew and loved him, forever altering their perception of the ocean and its untamed inhabitants. The incident also left Emily deeply affected. She couldn't erase the memory of the attack from her mind, and the once thrilling prospect of surfing now filled her with fear. Once her playground, the ocean now seemed like a vast and unpredictable wilderness. Despite the frantic efforts of the paramedics, Eric's injuries were severe. He was rushed to the hospital fighting for his life. The news spread through the beach community like wildfire, and a somber cloud hung over the once joyful atmosphere. The beachgoers were left in shock and grief, praying for Eric's recovery. Doctors and nurses fought tirelessly in the hospital to save Eric's life, but his injuries were too severe. Eric succumbed to his wounds despite their best efforts, leaving a devastated family and a community in mourning. The loss of such a vibrant and caring individual sent shockwaves through everyone present that day. Despite the tragedy, the danger was not yet over. The great white shark remained in the vicinity, drawn by the scent of blood. Authorities immediately closed the beach, warning all swimmers and surfers to stay out of the water. A tense atmosphere hung over the once vibrant beach, now marred by the presence of a relentless predator. The conflict to solve became clear. The community had to ensure the safety of its visitors. A shark warning system was urgently needed but would take time to implement. In the meantime, everyone had to remain vigilant and follow strict safety guidelines. Sam and Jake, both shaken by the incident, decided to cut their holiday short and return home. The attack had a profound effect on them, and they couldn't bear to stay in the place where tragedy struck. As the days passed, the community came together to mourn the loss of young Eric and discuss how they could prevent such a tragedy from happening again. The town rallied behind implementing a shark warning system, and fundraisers were organized to gather the necessary funds. Months later, the warning system was finally installed, giving beachgoers an extra layer of protection. The incident scarred everyone's hearts, but united the community in a shared safety goal. As time passed, the memory of that fateful day slowly faded, but the impact remained. Families continued to visit famous Fishhook Beach, enjoying its beauty while never forgetting the importance of safety. In the Newcomb Hollow remained a beautiful beach, but the shadows cast by the tragic event would never completely fade away. In the summer of 2002, off the pristine coast of famous Fishhook Beach, a picturesque location in an unnamed coastal town, a danger lurked beneath the idyllic surface. It was a perfect day with blue skies, warm sunshine, and crystal clear waters. Vacationers flocked to the beach seeking respite from their daily lives. Little did they know that a massive great white shark, measuring nearly 20 feet in length, had caught the scent of potential prey. Hunger gnawed at its gut and ventured into the shallows, a rare occurrence for this apex predator. Among the visitors that day was Eric Mitchell, a 37-year-old engineer from Harare, Zimbabwe. who was enjoying a holiday with his partner's family. The sun glinted off his goggles as he waded into the water with Sam and Jake, his partner's sons. They laughed and splashed around, unaware of the peril lurking beneath the surface. As they swam, the shark quickly closed the distance between them. The water churned violently as the massive predator zeroed in on its target. Its jaws clamped down on Eric's lower body in a horrifying moment. Panic and pain consumed him as he screamed for help, but the beast's grip was unrelenting. Sam and Jake were frozen in terror as they witnessed the attack unfold before their eyes. Time seemed to slow as they saw the sheer power of the shark's bite, and the sight of Eric being pulled under was etched into their minds forever. The beach erupted into chaos as everyone rushed to help. The once serene shoreline turned into a frenzy of panicked screams and desperate pleas for assistance. The shark's thrashing tail indicated it had caught its prey, a sight all too familiar when seals, feeling the pull of the rope connecting their kayaks, they lashed their kayaks together to keep Tamara from being blown off course. They continued, and Roy made headway in the lead kayak with Tamara following closely behind. The wind buffeted them and they struggled against the waves. Suddenly, without warning, a tremendous smash came from below the water. Something from the depths torpedoed upward and struck the kayaks, throwing them into the sea. Tamara resurfaced, coughing and sputtering, unsure of what had just happened. Seconds later, she felt a tremendous tug on her left thigh and was pulled underwater. She desperately tried to pull herself to the surface, but a shark had a firm grip on her leg. The shark twisted and turned underwater, causing her to lose consciousness. Roy, who had knocked his head on his kayak during the attack, swam over to Tamara and managed to grab her hand, pulling her above the water's surface. He held on to her, trying to keep her afloat, but he struggled to flip the upturned kayaks due to their weight. Witnesses nearby saw an incredible water boiling and thrashing about in the distance. The commotion was near a large United States Coast Guard buoy, where several SEALs had leaped out of the water in distress. Roy continued to try and flip the kayaks, but Tamara's injuries were severe, and she was slipping away. The shark returned and attacked again, dragging Roy underwater. He was never seen again. The kayaks were found upturned less than 20 miles from where they had launched, with stress fractures along their hulls and holes in one of them. An engineer concluded that a great white shark, weighing at least 2,000 pounds, must have caused the damage. 2 days after the attack, Tamara's body was found floating in the water near Channel Islands Harbor, 30 miles north of Paradise Cove. She had deep bite wounds on her upper thighs, and the severity of the injuries indicated a great white shark measuring at least 5 feet long was the cause of the fatality. Despite the other divers on board the Riveresco included Stephen Ears, a marine fisheries lecturer at the college, and his colleague Josephine Osborne. Stephen had invited Terry and Josephine to enjoy his research and observe the sea lion's behavior. Terry was eager to join in and experience the interactions with the sea lions, as they were well known in the area for being very interactive with divers, often displaying playfulness and coming very close to the people in the water. Unbeknownst to them, danger lurked beneath the idyllic surface. A massive great white shark, measuring nearly 20 feet in length, had caught the scent of potential prey. Hunger gnawed at its gut, driving it to venture into the shallows, a rare occurrence for this apex predator. As Emily waded into the water with Arthur and Isaac, the anticipation of a perfect surf day filled the air. Little did they know that a silent predator lurked beneath the waves, watching their every move with calculating eyes. Suddenly, a shadow emerged from the depths, and with lightning speed, the great white shark closed the distance between them. In a split second, it lunged at Arthur, its jaws clamping down on his lower body with bone-crushing force. A blood-curdling scream escaped Arthur's lips as the beast's razor-sharp teeth tore into his flesh. Panic and pain consumed him as he fought to escape the beast's unyielding grip. The water turned crimson as the shark's deadly assault sent shockwaves through the crowd. Emily and Isaac were frozen in horror, unable to comprehend the nightmare unfolding before them. The beach erupted into chaos as everyone rushed to help, their survival instincts kicking in. The sound of Arthur's desperate cries for help pierced the air, igniting a primal fear in the hearts of the onlookers. With adrenaline coursing through their veins, the beachgoers sprang into action, propelled by a collective determination to save their fellow surfer. Some grabbed surfboards and paddled out to create a makeshift barrier between the shark and its prey, hoping to divert its attention away from the wounded. Others waded into the water, their hearts pounding in their chests, and formed a human chain to drag Arthur back to the shore. Enraged and hungry, the shark continued to thrash and twist, making their task nearly impossible. The water churned with chaos as the shark relentlessly pursued its prey, its powerful tail leaving white fur were attacked. The water turned red with Eric's blood, adding to the scene's horror. With adrenaline coursing through their veins, the beachgoers did everything they could to save Eric. Some frantically called for help, while others rushed to the water's edge, unsure what to do. A brave lifeguard, Emily swam towards the commotion, her heart pounding in her chest. She knew the danger they were all facing, but had to act fast. Grabbing a nearby boogie board, Emily paddled towards the struggling young man. The shark had not yet retreated. She could see it circling below the surface. Its cold, dead eyes sent shivers down her spine, but she pushed through the fear. She knew they had to get Eric to safety before it returned for another strike. With every ounce of strength, Emily pulled Eric onto the boogie board and started swimming towards the shore. Her arms burned with exertion, and the weight of Eric's body felt like an anchor pulling her down. She kicked her legs with all her might, determined to reach the safety of the beach. Meanwhile, the other beachgoers formed a human chain, shouting and splashing to scare the shark away. Some brave souls ventured into the water, armed with anything they could find to fend off the predator. They banged on the surface, hoping the noise would startle the shark and force it to retreat. The collective effort created a cacophony of noise, a desperate attempt to deter the predator and buy Emily and Eric precious seconds. Fear was palpable, but the determination to save a life was more vital. The adrenaline-fueled crowd refused to back down, united in their mission to protect one of their own. With each stroke, Emily felt the weight of the situation on her shoulders. She could hear Eric's labored breathing, a reminder that every second counted. The water around them seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the shark's next move. Every nerve in Emily's body screamed at her to swim faster, to reach the shore before it was too late. As they finally reached the shallows, the crowd rushed forward to help pull Eric to safety. Emily collapsed onto the sand, gasping for breath. Her heart pounded as she looked back at the water, half expecting the shark to return for another attack. Emily could see the extent of Eric's injuries as she reached the shore. His lower body was badly mangled and he was losing blood rapidly. She shouted for help, and the crowd sprang into action. Their exploration of an idyllic island paradise was nearing its end, yet they craved one last adrenaline-packed escapade. It was Ethan who suggested a daring cage diving experience, an idea met with both excitement and trepidation by his two adventurous companions. The group's thirst for adventure was unquenchable, and this final challenge seemed like the perfect way to end their vacation on a high note. Arriving at the quaint island resort, they were greeted by the tropical warmth that enveloped the air. The resort was nestled on the island's edge, offering breathtaking vistas of the pristine coastline and the endless expanse of the Coral Sea. The island was renowned for its vibrant marine life, clear waters, and the Great Barrier Reef, its majestic neighbor. Their fourth day on the island dawned with brilliant sunshine, with the ocean reflecting the bright hues of the sky. Ethan's excitement was palpable as he suggested the exhilarating cage diving adventure. His idea was met with immediate enthusiasm from Mia and Olivia, who were eager to embrace the thrill of swimming alongside sharks. The trio approached the resort staff, who were well-versed in accommodating adventure seekers. The friendly staff guided them to a waiting boat where they were introduced to their experienced guides, Jake and Lara. These seasoned scuba diving experts were dedicated to ensuring their safety while providing an unforgettable encounter with the ocean's majestic creatures. As the boat set sail, the warm sea breeze tugged at their hair and clothes, heightening their anticipation. The journey took them to the heart of the Coral Sea, a shimmering paradise that lay just beyond the horizon. The gentle rocking of the boat matched the rhythm of their excited heartbeats, and the endless expanse of the sea beckoned with untold wonders. With Jake and Lara's guidance, the trio prepared for their underwater adventure. They donned their scuba gear, the sound of their steady breaths mingling with the crashing waves. Olivia couldn't help but feel excitement and nervousness while Mia's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Their dive took them to a prime location near the Great Barrier Reef, a vibrant underwater world teeming with life. Jake and Lara led them to the sturdy cage that would be their sanctuary beneath the waves. As they descended into the depths, their amazement grew at the kaleidoscope of colors and the serene beauty surrounding them. The cage was flung open in a heart-pounding instant as the massive bull shark rammed into it with an earth-shattering force. The impact sent shockwaves through the metal structure, causing it to creak and groan under immense pressure. The cage's bars twisted and bent, leaving a gaping hole that exposed Ethan, Mia, and Olivia to the open water and the monstrous predator that lurked just outside. Terror took hold as the shark lunged, its jaws snapping shut with a bone-chilling crunch. Ethan's heart raced as he instinctively raised his arms to shield his face, the shark's razor-sharp teeth grazing his forearm as he narrowly avoided a devastating bite, the turmoil lurking beneath the surface. Ethan, an experienced fisherman with a keen intuition, felt a disturbance in the water that sent shivers down his spine. A foreboding feeling gnawed at him as if a behemoth stirred below the depths, a prelude to a cataclysmic event. He turned to Lucas, his voice quivering with unease. Ethan told Lucas that something feels off about the spot where they are, his gaze fixed on the churning waters. Ethan can't shake the feeling that there's something massive lurking beneath. Lucas chuckled, dismissing Ethan's apprehension as mere paranoia. Undeterred, the two fishermen lowered the second net, casting their doubts aside. The yield sank into the abyss and the minutes stretched like an eternity. Suddenly a commotion erupted beneath the surface, a violent disturbance that shattered the tranquil facade. A dark shadow loomed, morphing into an enormous, fearsome creature that defied comprehension. The water erupted in a tumultuous frenzy as an aggressive great white shark, its gaping maw brimming with razor-sharp teeth, burst forth from the depths. A guttural roar echoed across the boat, a primal symphony of terror resonating in the crew's hearts. Lucas's heart pounded in his chest, his instincts screaming to retreat. Lucas's heart raced as he released the net, his fingers shaking with shock and anticipation. The shark's immense silhouette hovered dangerously close to the boat's edge, a nightmarish specter poised to strike. Time warped as Lucas and the creature locked eyes, a chilling connection between predator and prey. Its abyssal stare exuded malevolent hunger. In a heart-stopping surge, the shark catapulted from the water's depths, jaws agape and craving flesh. Its monstrous maw clamped onto Lucas's leg with bone-crushing force, unleashing a torrent of searing pain that ignited his senses. His anguished cry reverberated through the air, merging with the crew's horrified shouts. Chaos erupted as the crew scrambled to action, their adrenaline-fueled instincts kicking into overdrive. Liam and Owen snatched at anything that resembled a weapon, their faces contorting with fear and determination. The boat bucked wildly as the shark's power tugged at its structure, the clash of human and oceanic forces creating a symphony of pandemonium. In a frenzy of desperation, Lucas grappled with the relentless predator. Every muscle in his body strained against the inescapable pull of the ocean's dominion. His fingers clawed at the boat's uneven surf. Terry asked Ian to anchor in a channel on the southern side of the island. Ian motored the boat to the spot and released the anchor chain. The depth reader read 15 meters, about 150 meters from the mainland. Ian and Terry's children leaned over the side of the boat. They watched the anchor splash into the water and disappeared into the depths. With the calm seas, it was easy for Terry, Stephen, and Josephine to put on their gear. Terry slipped into a two-piece wetsuit, pulled the hood over her head, and slipped into her yellow fins. Stephen lifted her yellow air cylinder onto her back, and Terry clipped it up. Stephen dropped into the water first, signaling that it was okay to the rest of the crew, and he began swimming away from the boat. The second to enter the water was Terry, closely followed by Josephine. Terry was an experienced scuba diver but hadn't been in the water for over a year. She was excited to be back among the marine wildlife that she loved so much. Once in the water, Terry signaled that she was okay, but she was fumbling with her equipment. She bobbed on the surface as she tried to adjust the regulator in her mask. Assuming Terry was close behind them, Stephen and Josephine began swimming on the water's surface towards 10th Island. As they did so, seals came swimming up to them, their whiskered faces inches from their masks. Stephen ducked his head underwater, and below them, the sea lions were darting about, swimming up to the diver's feet and then swimming back down. The sea was a hive of activity. Terry's husband Ian and another crew member, Ian Rinkin, shouted at Terry, signaling her to hurry up and catch up to the others. She was lagging behind, and it was safer for them to stick together as a group. Finally, Terry sorted out her equipment and turned to see her friends 20 meters away. She swam to catch up. Despite not being in the water for a long time, Terry was a fit 35-year-old and quickly caught up to the others. The three of them bobbed on the surface together briefly before descending just meters from the rocks of 10th Island. Terry marveled at the scenery as they dropped beneath the ocean's surface. The visibility was fantastic, and she watched as the sea lions glided by effortlessly. Stephen and Josephine made it to the bottom of the ocean and looked up to see Terry paused in her descent. Terry felt the pressure build in her ears. She pinched her nose and blew, but nothing happened. The tension in her ears grew as she continued to dive deeper. She tried repeatedly to equalize her ears, and suddenly she was hit with an incredible force from out of nowhere. It knocked the air from her lungs as she was thrown through the water. The regulator was ripped from her mouth and bubbles surrounded her. Stephen and Josephine hovered just above the seafloor, shocked as they saw a 15-foot great white shark torpedo directly into Terry. Disoriented, Terry wheeled around as the shark came at her once more. Its enormous mouth clamped down around her torso, and she let out a muted cry, air bubbles escaping from her mouth. Stephen and Josephine looked on in horror as a shadow of red engulfed their friend, as the shark ravaged her, thrashing her body around in the water. They hid behind the underwater rocks, hardly daring to peek over the top, the splintering wood digging into his skin as he sought a grip to counteract the shark's inexorable strength. The boat's once sturdy deck became a battleground that vibrated with the furious thrashings of both man and shark. The crew's shouts merged with the wind's haunting wail. The symphony of chaos, a stark reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of nature's ferocity. Amidst this chaotic crescendo, Lucas fought to retain his hold on life, his survival instinct igniting a fire. In a final surge of adrenaline-fueled determination, Lucas summoned reserves of strength he didn't know he possessed. His fingers dug into the boat's splintered edges, his muscles screaming in protest as he countered the relentless force of the shark's pull. The tides of fate shifted as Lucas's efforts yielded results. The shark's grip wavered, its mighty hold weakening against Lucas's unyielding resilience. Lucas twisted and turned with a primal roar, his body writhing in pure defiance. And then, with a visceral burst of power, he tore free from the shark's crushing embrace. Tragic fate serves as a grim reminder of the unpredictable and powerful nature of the ocean. While he loved and respected the ocean, he couldn't have predicted the encounter with such a massive predator. As news of the incident spread, the local community and surfers were shaken. Once a beloved surfing spot, South Moss Beach now had a haunting reputation. The memory of Lewis's death lingered in the minds of those who loved the ocean, forever altering their relationship with the powerful tides. The loss of Lewis Archer Boren left a void in the lives of his family and friends. His parents, devastated by the sudden tragedy, couldn't believe their adventurous son was taken so abruptly. Mark, Lewis's friend, was guilty, blaming himself for not convincing Lewis to call it a day after their morning session. Over the years, South Moss Beach gradually returned to its serene and picturesque setting, but the memory of the largest shark ever recorded remained, etched into the minds of all who knew of the incident. It was a day that anyone spending time in the outer Cape lived for. The sun was shining, the temperature had climbed to 80 degrees, and the waves were perfect for surfing. Newcomb Hollow, a picturesque beach in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, was the epitome of paradise. Arthur Mitchell and Isaac Thompson, two best friends, were excited as they ran from the parking lot to glimpse the waves. They had been waiting for this day, and it was even better than they had hoped. The ocean beckoned them with its crystal-clear waters and gentle curls, inviting them to ride the waves on their surfboards. Shirley Durden, a concerned mother, stood on the shore, watching her daughter, Emily Durden, an adventurous surfer, suit up to join the fun. She tried to dissuade her from entering the water, but Emily assured her that all the signs pointed. Alexei's survival instinct surged within him, a primal surge of strength that defied the grip of death. He fought back with every ounce of his resolve, unleashing a torrent of first energy against the behemoth. His fists pounded against the creature's snout, his voice mingling with Natalia's terrified cries, creating a symphony of desperation. As the seconds stretched into eternity, the predator's grip wavered, its hold momentarily loosened by Alexei's unrelenting determination. With a final surge of primal fury, he freed himself from the shark's grasp, the agony of the bite etched indelibly in his memory. Gasping for breath, Alexei's body burned with pain, his vision blurred by a haze of torment. The battle had taken its toll, and as he fought to regain his footing, he glimpsed Natalia's terrified face above the water's surface. Their eyes locked in a shared moment of survival, a testament to the power of their love and the unbreakable spirit that had enabled them to defy the jaws of death. Natalia's screams echoed through the air as she fought to reach the safety of the shore. Beachgoers and lifeguards sprang into action, rushing to aid the distressed couple. The vicious struggle between Alexei and the shark continued, his breath escaping him as the predator thrashed violently, refusing to release its grip. Summoning every last reserve of strength, Alexei's survival instincts kicked into overdrive as he grappled with the monstrous shark. With a surge of primal energy, he drove his fingers into the shark's eye, causing the creature to release him in a fury of movement. Gasping for air, Alexei fought his way to the surface, his body trembling with pain and adrenaline, aligned by Natalia's frantic cries, fear to cover up their criminal activities. The disappearances were always seen at the same time as substantial smuggling operations that were being carried out in the region. The perpetrators of the crime employed the urban legend of the Cyrenian predator to deflect attention away from their actions by casting the gigantic shark in the offender's role. They went so far as to hire people to dress up as sharks and stage fake attacks to perpetuate the notion further. The people who were behind the lie's orchestration opposed Alex, Ben, and Victor after they revealed the truth. The criminals were affluent folks who had a stranglehold over the town's economy and the local media. They were getting closer to the fact that Alex's life was in jeopardy, and their inquiry transformed into a potentially deadly game of cat and mouse. Alex and her team persisted in their mission despite the risks involved. They did this by collecting evidence, documenting the stories of eyewitnesses, and unraveling the web of deceit that the conspirators had built. Olivia Dawson, disillusioned by the dishonesty that surrounded her, decided to take the side of the investigators, which exposed the extent of her fragility, although she presented herself as wealthy. The pivotal truth revealed to the village's citizens was an exciting payoff for their tension. The true villains were uncovered and brought to light, and their deception-based empire was brought to its knees. The criminals were made to suffer the repercussions of their acts, which satisfied the need for justice. As the narrative drew close, he then had to deliver the devastating news to their 6-year-old quadruplets and 11-month-old son, who were waiting patiently on the boat with no sign of Terry above the water. Ian radioed Bell Bay for help and initiated a sea and air search. During the afternoon, pieces of Terry's wetsuit surfaced a kilometer from the attack site. One of her legs with the yellow fin still attached was also pulled from the sea. No other trace of Terry was ever found. The incident serves as a tragic reminder of the dangers posed by great white sharks and the need for caution when engaging in activities in the ocean. It is believed that the shark mistook Terry for a struggling sea lion, dressed predominantly in black among the swarms of sea lions in the area. This case of mistaken identity led to her horrifying final affliction. This heart-wrenching incident is a stark reminder that the enchanting underwater world is also a domain of predators. Even with safety precautions, the ocean remains unpredictable, and encounters with formidable creatures like great white sharks can have devastating consequences. The tragedy of Terry Cartwright's death highlights the importance of understanding and respecting the marine environment, and the need for caution while engaging in water activities. But she couldn't ignore the nagging feeling that the legendary creature was following their every step. When Bella and Alex were scuba diving one fatal night near a shipwreck, the great white shark suddenly materialized in front of them, creating an eerie shadow with its gigantic size. As she peered at the magnificent yet menacing creature, Bella's pulse raced as it raced faster and faster. Alex hushed them that they ought to return to the yacht, his gaze fixed on the shark the entire time. Despite this, Bella found herself pulled to the creature's stare and had the distinct impression that she was privy to something that transcended the passage of time. She concluded that the shark was not the monstrous creature represented in various traditions. As the journey drew to a close, Bella made a decision that surprised everyone. She concluded that it was best to keep some mysteries a mystery, and decided to keep the shark's secret a secret. She was aware that most people wouldn't get her reasoning, but she couldn't stand by and let the legendary beast be turned into another story used for amusement. After completing their task, Bella, Alex, Vicky, and Jerry sailed away from Bayfield Island. They took memories that would last a lifetime and a greater respect for the wild and unfathomable ocean secrets. The ocean's predator recoiled, vanishing into the depths with a frustrated thrash. Lucas's ragged gasps filled the air. His body sprawled upon the boat's surface like a warrior emerging victorious from a savage battlefield. The crew's exultant cries mingled with the salt-laden breeze, a chorus of triumph against the relentless might of the deep. Owen and Ethan hoisted him back onto the boat, their faces a mix of relief and fear. The crew's harrowing encounter with the vicious Leviathan had left its mark, forever etched in their memories. As the boat sped back to Sand Harbor, Lucas's pain was eclipsed by camaraderie and unity among the crew. Their collective efforts had defied the odds, and they now navigated through treacherous waters with a newfound respect for the untamed forces that dwelled beneath. Upon reaching the shore, the situation's urgency propelled Lucas into the hands of a waiting ambulance. The paramedics worked quickly, assessing his injuries and providing immediate medical attention. Lucas's injured leg was carefully examined, cleaned, and stitched up. The pain reminded him of his harrowing encounter. The hospital room buzzed with activity as doctors and nurses monitored his condition, ensuring he would recover from his physical wounds. As news of the incident spread among their friends and families, shock and concern rippled through their close-knit community. Owen, Liam, and Ethan gathered at the hospital, their faces etched with worry and relief as they saw Lucas's pale but determined expression. The incident had shaken them to their core, forcing them to confront the unpredictable and dangerous nature of the ocean they had always considered their ally. The aftermath of the shark attack left an indelible impact on each of them. For Lucas, the physical pain was a constant reminder of the danger he had faced. Still, it also fueled his determination to heal and regain his strength. The incident had not only tested his physical endurance, but also highlighted the power of his friendships. He was deeply moved by the unwavering support of Owen, Liam, and Ethan, realizing the depth of their camaraderie in the face of adversity. As time passed, Lucas's leg healed, and the physical scars faded. The incident remained a defining moment in their lives, a story they would tell for years. The tranquil waves that had once held secrets untold now bore witness to their shared experience of survival, friendship, and the awe-inspiring power of the ocean. In 2013, against the breathtaking backdrop of Australia's Great Barrier Reef, an exhilarating summer vacation took an unexpected turn for three close friends: Ethan Stevens, Mia Anderson, and Olivia Turner. The azure waters of the Coral Sea stretched out, merging with the vibrant skies, as they embarked on a journey that would challenge their limits and bond them in ways they never anticipated. Ethan, Mia, and Olivia were inseparable, bound by their shared love for adventure and the ocean. Spine-chilling narrative set against the backdrop of the picturesque Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. The tale revolves around a Ukrainian model named Natalia Dovgin and her partner Alexei. Natalia was renowned for her beauty, gracing fashion runways and magazine covers. At the same time, Alexei was a skilled craftsman who had captured her heart. The couple had been inseparable for 4 years when they embarked on a fateful trip to the enchanting coastal haven in the summer of 2002. After enduring a grueling flight with layovers spanning over 18 hours, Natalia and Alexei arrived at Myrtle Beach International Airport, South Carolina, in the wee hours of the morning. Exhausted yet determined to make the most of their vacation, they stayed at a cozy motel for the night before their journey to the tranquil coastal town of Charleston. As the sun illuminated the coastline the next day, Natalia and Alexei set out for Charleston, captivated by the mesmerizing beauty surrounding them throughout their drive. Arriving at their quaint lodgings in Charleston, They explored the town's rich history and vibrant culture. With the arrival of the following morning, Natalia and Alexei decided to start their day early, heading to the famous Folly Beach to bask in the sun and unwind. Finding a secluded spot under a beach umbrella, they enjoyed the serenity and beauty of the surroundings, far removed from the glamour of Natalia's modeling career. As the beach crowd slowly thinned out, Natalia and Alexei reveled in the bliss of each other's company, engaging in light-hearted banter as the waves lapped at their feet. Their idyllic moment sharply turned when Natalia suddenly felt an immense force surging beneath the water. Panic gripped them as they struggled against an unseen adversary thrashing beneath the waves. Amid the chaos, Alexei's protective instincts kicked in as he urged Natalia to swim back to shore, his heart pounding as adrenaline surged through his veins. The tranquil waters transformed into a maelstrom of horror, churning with a malevolent force. In the murky depths, a monstrous silhouette materialized, casting an eerie shadow over their ordeal. A colossal great white shark emerged from the depths, its cavernous maw gaping wide, revealing rows of serrated teeth that gleamed with deadly intent. Its eyes fixated on the couple, exuding an aura of primal hunger as it surged forward with ferocious power. Desperation became Alexei's driving force as he grappled with the nightmarish creature. Every fiber of his being screamed for survival as he kicked and thrashed, utilizing every ounce of strength to protect Natalia from imminent danger. The relentless predator's power was staggering, its massive frame casting a looming shadow over Alexei as it bore down upon him. In a terrifying instant, the shark's monstrous jaws clamped around Alexei's leg, its powerful bite like a vice of doom. Unyielding agony radiated through his body as the savage force of the edge threatened to crush bone and sinew alike. The sea transformed into a swirling tempest of crimson, clouded by the iridescent haze of Alexei's blood. Despite the searing pain, Mia and Olivia screamed in shock, their cries drowned out by the deafening rush of bubbles and the thunderous roars of the sea. Chaos erupted as the friends were jostled within the cage, their bodies tossed like rag dolls in the underwater maelstrom. The once tranquil ocean had transformed into a cauldron of fear and violence, with the very elements that nature had concealed now revealed in their most terrifying forms. Water surged around them, obscuring their vision and adding to the confusion that threatened to overwhelm their senses. Desperation propelled them into action. With adrenaline surging through their veins, Ethan, Mia, and Olivia fought to keep their heads above water and away from the deadly jaws of the bull shark that circled hungrily. The shark's menacing silhouette danced on the fringes of their vision, an ever-present reminder of the peril that awaited them. Through the chaos emerged their guides, Jake and Lara, whose faces were etched with determination as they sprang into action. Using all their strength, they operated the boat with furious resolve, maneuvering it to create a turbulent disturbance in the water. The violent splashes and aggressive movements aimed to divert the shark's attention from the exposed trio, a race against time and instinct. The water roiled as the shark focused on the commotion on the surface, drawn by the flurry of movement and noise. Ethan, Mia, and Olivia clung to the cage's remnants, their hands scraped and bleeding from the vicious encounter. Their eyes remained locked on the relentless predator that continued to circle, its powerful form a chilling reminder of the danger they were still in. With a final surge of strength, Jake and Lara's efforts proved successful. The shark's predatory gaze shifted towards the boat, the promise of a potential meal diverting its attention from its trapped quarry. Slowly, cautiously, the predator faded into the depths, its disappearance leaving a haunting stillness in its wake. The guides swiftly sprang into action, their combined efforts focused on hauling Ethan, Mia, and Olivia to safety. The cage's remnants were cast aside, replaced by the safety of the boat's deck. As they gasped for air and clung to one another, relief, shock, and gratitude painted their faces. The reality of their brush with death was etched into their minds, forever altering their perception of the once beautiful underwater world. As they were helped onto the boat, Jake and Lara's trained eyes scanned the trio for injuries. Ethan's forearm bore the harrowing marks of the shark's attack. The skin was deeply torn, and blood was seeping from the wounds. The guide's swift and decisive intervention had spared them from a fate too terrifying to comprehend, and their bond with Ethan, Mia, and Olivia was strengthened by the shared trauma of their near-death experience. As a result, the tale of the enormous shark continued to be kept a secret beneath the water surface by the very island it defended. It turned into a story passed down from sailor to sailor, a tribute to the untamed wonders beyond the depths waiting to be uncovered by those courageous enough to pursue the truth. Bella's life has been irrevocably altered as a result of the journey. Her curiosity about aquatic life and her admiration for the mysterious creature increased as time passed. Bella carried on with her investigation while holding the recollections of Bayfield Island dear to her heart. After some time, Bella became a well-respected marine researcher famous for her pioneering work in shark protection. She would never forget the look of mesmerization on the shark's face she had experienced on that terrible night. In her imagination, the story of the enormous shark continued to exist as a constant reminder of the wild beauty of the ocean. Alex followed his interest in sailing and eventually became a well-known captain with a profound love for the ocean. He often thought back to their journey to Bayfield Island, cherishing the memories of his time spent with Bella and the secret they had solved together during their time there. The stories of the mythical shark that had become a part of nautical tradition served as Captain Jerry's navigational compass as he continued his voyages across the oceans. He entertained his crew with stories of the mysterious creature, ensuring the tale would be remembered for a long time. Professor Vicky, whose heart was filled with appreciation for the trip of a lifetime, decided to commit to educating future generations about the significance of protecting marine life and appreciating the untamed ocean secrets. She did this with the full knowledge that she would never forget the expedition. The tale of the enormous shark continued to captivate seafarers and explorers alike, motivating them to explore the great unknown while maintaining a sense of awe and respect for the marine life that made the ocean their home. The fact that Bella had found evidence of the legendary shark remained a closely guarded secret as the years passed. She knew that certain enigmas should be preserved in their unsolved state, since this would enable nature to keep its mysterious charm. The world may need to learn the truth about the gigantic shark. Still, for Bella, Alex, Vicky, and Jerry, the experience will remain a treasured memory permanently inscribed into their life's annals. As a result, the unconquerable mysteries of the ocean remained, calling out to the exploratory spirits among us to discover and decipher their hidden meanings. The story of the enormous shark would always serve as a reminder to Bella that marvels were designed to be kept firmly rooted in the domain of fantasy. This was where the line separating truth and myth was hazy, making way for aspirations to soar in the vastness of the vast ocean. Port La Serena started recovering from the scars its troubled past left. The town came together to express thanks because Alex, Ben, and Victor demonstrated bravery and tenacity. After Olivia realized her true purpose in life, she vowed to defend the ocean she had previously exploited by donating her fortune to environmental charities and committing to do so. It's possible that the Serenian predator was just a legend. Still, the truth about the dangerous creatures that lurked in the shadows had been uncovered. Thanks to their bravery and tenacity, Alex and her team were able to change the tide, ensuring that the waters of Port La Serena would remain untamed but free from fear. Ultimately, the story was not just about a shark killing a woman after she leaped off her yacht and into the water below. It was a tale of bravery on the part of individuals, the telling of the truth, and the tenacity of a community bound together by a shared desire for justice and redemption. In 1995, Elena Monroe and her diving partner, Dr. Ethan Sawyer, were preparing to embark on another adventure while on Haven Isle. It was a bright and sunny morning. Their objective was to investigate the migration routes taken by great white sharks. Haven Isle proved to be an ideal location for this kind of investigation. Elena and Ethan were trailblazers in marine biology, and their enthusiasm for the water had no bounds. As they dropped into the glistening waters on their yacht, the world's splendor under the surface gradually revealed itself to them. While beautiful rays floated effortlessly through the currents, schools of brilliantly colored fish rushed about the coral reefs. But on this particular day, Elena noticed something unusual that drew her attention. A vast shadow was seen gliding gently across the depths of the room. Although it appeared to be a great white shark, there was something unusual about it. Elena had never seen anything like the markings on the animal's back before. The enigma of this creature so enthralled Elena that she decided to mark it for later investigation. Elena's stomach began to flip as she got closer to the shark, and she experienced a tingling sensation of exhilaration mixed with anxiety. It gave off the impression of being interested yet wary simultaneously, as though it knew she was there for more than mere observation. She proceeded to affix the tracking device to the shark's fin in an organized manner. She was unaware that the shark was uncomfortable while the tag was attached. In a matter of seconds, the peaceful environment of the undersea world erupted into mayhem. Elena and Ethan were in the path of the shark's oncoming charge when it became belligerent and began to thrash its gigantic body. Even though they could return to the research yacht in time, the experience perplexed them. This was not the typical behavior of a shark. Elena and Ethan felt relieved when they realized they had saved the islanders' lives and brought the shark some tranquility. The crew of the Atlantis Explorer gathered around on its deck as the sun began to rise on a new day to discuss the incredible journey they had just completed. Mia documented the entirety of the trip on film and is now prepared to reveal this wild tale to the world. In the days that followed, word of the mysterious shark and the brave squad that fought it and preserved their island quickly went worldwide. Elena, Ethan, Captain Fletcher, and Mia came to be regarded as heroes because their stories encouraged others to value and preserve the ocean's natural beauty. The event had a significant and long-lasting effect on each squad member. Elena and Ethan's dedication to their studies increased, and they prioritized safeguarding marine life and maintaining the integrity of delicate ecosystems. On Haven Isle, Captain Fletcher persevered to encourage environmentally conscious vacationing and conservation work. And as she shed light on the secrets of the natural world, Mia's passion for storytelling grew even stronger. Those who witnessed Elena Monroe and the majestic shark have their memory permanently marked by the mystery surrounding them. Because of this, the wild tale of the shark that had eaten a woman who had jumped off her yacht took an unexpected turn, evolving into a compelling narrative about compassion, understanding, and the unbreakable relationship between humans and the wild. The boat's journey back to the island resort was a mixture of relief and tension, the weight of their encounter sinking with each passing wave. Ethan's breathing was labored, and his face was pale from blood loss. The reality of his injuries was a grim reminder of the brutal force they had faced beneath the waves. Jake and Lara worked tirelessly, their concern evident as they applied makeshift bandages to stanch the bleeding and provide some measure of comfort. In the aftermath of the tumultuous encounter, Ethan, Mia, and Olivia were left with physical and emotional scars that would forever remind them of the power and unpredictability of nature's creatures. The ocean's depths held mysteries beyond their wildest imagination. The resilience they displayed in the face of danger would forever shape their understanding of survival, friendship, and the fragile line separating humanity from the untamed world surrounding it. The incident left an indelible mark on them, altering their perception of the ocean's beauty and dangers. The untamed power of the bull shark served as a humbling reminder that nature's majesty could also conceal its unpredictability. As they returned to the island resort, their shared ordeal bound them closer together, reinforcing their appreciation for each other and their determination to embrace life's adventures while respecting its challenges. Upon reaching the resort's shore, medical personnel were waiting to attend to Ethan's injuries. He was transported to the hospital for immediate medical care. His pain was a constant reminder of their narrow escape from the jaws of a predator. As the ambulance sped away, the island's beauty seemed bittersweet, a paradise forever etched with the memory of a perilous encounter, a testament to the fragile balance between humanity's desire for adventure and the ocean's untamed mysteries. As the days passed into nights, Bella became increasingly enthralled by the story of the legendary shark. She noticed patterns in the sightings of the shark that suggested it had a more profound relationship with the island. Bella and Alex decided to investigate a spooky cave that had been on their minds for a while. They did so when the sun was setting. They entered and found an ancient cave with engravings depicting a fabled shark guarding the island. Bella was amazed by the sculptures and remarked that it appeared as though the shark was a protector of something important to the island's heritage. Alex nodded in agreement and observed that whatever it was, it carried a significant amount of importance. During this time, Captain Jerry and Professor Vicky were busy studying their research data to understand the shark's behavior better and to determine whether or not there was a connection between the shark and the island's history of piracy. As the mission went on, an uneasy feeling began to spread across the group. Rumors that the shark was nearby stoked excitement and anxiety in the crew members. Her desire propelled Bella forward. Ethan studied the data from the tag once they had returned to the yacht. The distinctive markings on the shark allowed the researchers to determine that it was the same individual that they had seen 5 years before. However, it had grown to a monster size since then. The data also showed that the shark was in agony. They suggested that the shark's aggressive behavior was a reaction to the injury produced by the tagging procedure. As they deliberated on what course of action to take, word arrived on the island of a shark attack. The tourists quickly panicked, and the locals became concerned about their well-being. The experienced sailor in charge of the Atlantis Explorer, Captain Marcus Fletcher, volunteered to assist the people doing the research. The squad needed to rush to protect the people who lived on the island. Elena, Ethan, Captain Fletcher, and Mia, a young reporter covering the trip who was known for her daring and adventurous spirit, came together to formulate a strategy. They had to devise a plan to coax the hostile shark away from the populated regions and back into the open waters where it belonged. The crew used improved technology and materials to create a realistic-looking decoy, hoping to attract the shark and cause it to swim away from the island. Mia offered to play the decoy role because of her extensive knowledge of marine life, making her the ideal choice for the job. The crew quickly implemented their strategy while it was still dark outside. While Mia courageously took her place in the water, the others maintained a tight check on the tracking data to keep track of the shark's movements. The shark followed the decoy as it made its slow journey away from the island where it had been placed. The team watched with bated breath as the shark got fixated on the decoy, becoming oblivious to its surroundings. Elena and Ethan turned on the tracking device as soon as they entered deeper water. This allowed them to observe the shark's activity while remaining at a safe distance. They were taken aback when they saw a change in the manner in which the shark was behaving. It had rediscovered some dormant instinct since it became less aggressive and more interested. It moved fluidly through the open sea, its muscular physique sliding through the water currents. The results of the group's labor were satisfactory. The shark had successfully navigated safely back to its natural home from human habitation. Lifeguards rushed to his aid, pulling him to safety amidst the chaos. Despite his severe injuries, Alexei's raw courage in the face of death left onlookers in awe. His resilience and determination to survive against all odds would forever be etched in their memories. As the lifeguards worked to stabilize Alexei, Natalia's heart-wrenching cries pierced the air, her anguish echoing across the once idyllic Folly Beach. Her world had shattered before her eyes as she witnessed her beloved partner being attacked by a fearsome predator. The incident had transformed the serene shoreline into a haunting reminder that the beauty of nature can instantly transform into a realm of danger and survival. Alexei's injuries were extensive, with deep lacerations and puncture wounds marring his body. The shark's powerful bite had left him with shattered bones and torn flesh, and the road to recovery would be long and arduous. As he was rushed to a nearby hospital, Natalia hoped that her love's fighting spirit would see him through the darkness that had befallen them. Months of intensive medical care followed. Alexei's battle was not only against his physical injuries but also against the emotional scars left by the harrowing encounter. The memory of the relentless predator's jaws closing around him haunted his dreams, causing him to wake up in cold sweats, gasping for air. Natalia stood by his side throughout, offering unwavering support and a love that transcended the pain they had endured. Their journey of recovery became a testament to their unbreakable bond. Alexei's wounds began to heal with time, but the emotional wounds ran deep. The once vibrant Folly Beach, now forever marked by their ordeal, symbolized their strength and resilience in the face of unimaginable terror. Finally, after months of healing and therapy, Alexei and Natalia made the arduous journey back to Ukraine. The scars on their bodies were a testament to their survival, a visual reminder of the fierce battle they had fought against the apex predator. Their story, one of love, survival, and the indomitable human spirit, would forever serve as a chilling reminder that even in the most tranquil of settings, the forces of nature can unleash a realm of danger and fear that tests the limits. In 2007, the moonlight lit Bayfield Island's calm waters as the Sapphire Star gently floated on the horizon. A young marine researcher named Isabella Bella Rivera waited at the vessel's bow, her eyes brimming with joy. Next to her was her daring and capable sailing companion, Alexander Alex Donovan, who had been her best friend for many years. Bella voiced her excitement, stating that she couldn't believe they were going to investigate the secrets of Bayfield Island, and she went on to explain why. Alex grinned as he responded and mentioned that it would be an experience that they would never forget. Captain Jeremiah Jerry Blackwood of the Sapphire Star joined them and remarked that they were ready for the adventure of a lifetime, comparing their appearance to that of excited children on Christmas morning. Professor Victoria Vicky Thornton, a well-known marine archaeologist, guided their expedition to discover the ocean's mysteries. When the yacht stopped near the island, Vicky invited everyone on board to join her on the deck and welcome them, recounting the belief that Bayfield Island was protected by a legendary shark so large that it could consume a whale. Bella's eyes expanded with curiosity when she questioned the idea in such tales. She was intrigued. Vicky laughed and reassured them that stories frequently had a kernel of truth, which was precisely what they were looking for, and why they were there in the first place. She cautioned them to exercise extreme caution because the waters were treacherous and alluring. Bella and her friends geared up for their dive with excited anticipation as they gathered their research materials and put on their scuba gear. They descended into the abyss, which opened their eyes to the marvels beneath the ocean's surface, such as thriving coral reefs and a wide variety of marine life.